What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where today we're going to talk a little bit about Justin Simmons. Got signed to the Falcons, and as Colts fans, we're sitting here, and it's like, when are we going to go make something happen? We've talked so much about the possibility of going with Nick Cross, and that's what I said all of last year, right? Rodney Thomas wasn't getting it done. I thought he showed a lot of inconsistency in his rookie year, and then when he comes into year two, she still showed a lot of inconsistency. I thought Ronnie Thomas was actually probably a little better in his rookie year. But then finally we get to a place where Nick Cross ends up getting the start, and he ends up getting the position at free safety. Thought he made some plays, wasn't perfect. Still he was 21 years old. Coming into this year, he's going to be 22 years old. And with as young as he is, the hope is that he grows into the role. And that seems to be the thought of where Chris Ballard is in all this, right? Him and his team and the defense, defensive coordinator, who knows what Gus Bradley wants. But when you look at it, you're looking at the secondary and you're looking at that free safety position, and it's been so inconsistent. We keep giving up big plays, and it's a lot of times Ronnie Thomas, because of his inconsistencies, him just not being in the right place, misgauging where a ball is going. Like, there are plenty of instances in the past where obviously Ronnie Thomas, who ended up losing his job, it just hasn't performed up to par. So I last year said so much, hey, let's get Nick Cross. That's where I'm going to have to be this year. I was hoping that we'd end up with Justin Simmons. That obviously ends up not being the case. Justin Simmons signs with the Atlanta Falcons for 1 year, $8 million. Okay, when you look at Justin Simmons, you look at Quandre Diggs, all together, their contracts worth up to $13 million. The two of them combined, great veteran players. We currently have $25 million in cap space. So at what point are we going to do something? That's the question. When are we going to finally go out and do something now? Is this potentially an overreaction? Sure. Going into the season, hey, maybe we're just blowing things out of proportion, right? There was a lot of talk last year about how we thought the offensive line was going to be bad. We didn't do anything to address it. We didn't bring in a right guard. Didn't do anything for the offensive line. So naturally, we all thought, okay, well, repeat of 2022, here we go. That ended up not being the case. Offensive line was great. So that's where I'm holding out hope, is that there can be development. You have coaching, you have these guys getting older, and you can only hope that they're going to continue to develop the way they need to for this defense. Now, is it all on the defense, right? We have these players. I think Nick Cross could be really good. I mentioned this in my stream. I'll mention it here just in case you didn't see that. But in my opinion, when you really look at it, if Eberflus was our defensive coordinator still in the kind of system that he runs, I think the players that we currently have, cornerbacks, safeties, the whole thing, I think this particular defense with Matt Eberflus as defensive coordinator would be incredible. Right? The amount of turnovers we were able to create most of the time with Matt Eberflus. Granted, we had Shaq Leonard, but Shaq Leonard was Shaq Leonard with Matt Eberflus. So, I think that's part of the downfall of Shaq Leonard, to be completely honest with you, is the defensive coordinator change. And what the role was for Shaq coming in, right? If he never gets hurt, Zaire Franklin is probably never in the middle of that defense, right? So, one thing has to lead to another for things to happen. We wouldn't have who we have at middle linebacker with Zaire Franklin without that happening, but Shaq Leonard, having to switch roles in the defense because Zaire Franklin came in and was so good, that affects so many things. So, all in all, the scheme that we run is definitely a part of it. You can put a lot of blame on Gus Bradley, and I'm not going to blame you. Okay, I do too. But at some point, the players have to take over and do what. There's supposed to be this happy medium of coaching and what the coach wants, and players being on the field, being in the moment, and reacting in a different way, doing something different because they did their homework, right? They watched the film. They've put in the work to understand what the other team is doing. They've have enough experience, right? And that's part of the problem. So many guys on that defense are so young, they don't have the experience to be able to do that kind of stuff. So that's where you hope it comes, right? Like the Legion of Boom, once all those guys who were young starting in the system, but grew into that system once they were veterans. They'd gotten smarter. For as explosive as those guys were, some of those guys, really smart guys, right? When you look at their backgrounds, like Richard Sherman, talked a lot, but went to Stanford. Very intelligent. Cam Chancellor, very intelligent. Like the guys in those Seattle Legion of Boom days with Gus Bradley, there was a reason they were so great. Experience plus smart. The guys we have are so smart. We have some experienced guys, but we have so many young guys. So going into it, and kind of we talked about the whole secondary there. This one more about that safety position, right? And going back to what we were talking about. What are we doing? Okay, that's what's on the thumbnail. What are we doing? We have a chance with Anthony Richardson to pay some guys, right? Rookie quarterback, rookie contract, or a quarterback on his rookie contract, and this is the time where you go pay guys to try to win a championship. And I think our team can be really good. It's just there's so many unknowns because so many guys that were drafted last year were injured. Then you have the rookies this year. What can we really be? How far can we really go? And I think that, when you talk about Ballard and what's Ballard doing, I think that they're still at a place where, like last year, we went 9-8. We did pretty good. We got new coaches. The whole vibe changes. A lot of the same team, but a new draft class. You got the quarterback of the future. Ends up not playing most of the year. So now I think we're at a spot where it's just like last year. The front office wants to see Richardson stays healthy, and they want to see how everything works when Anthony Richardson stays healthy, right? What ways do we need to change the team, right? Are we going to be consistently playing from in front, so we need to just have the edge rushers and we can sacrifice the secondary like we did in Peyton's days? Or do we need to build the team in a different way? Do we need to get the guys in the secondary to make sure they're there? Like, how does it need to be built? I feel like part of the waiting game is happening because of Anthony Richardson not playing last year. So, going forward, of course, at this point, we as Colts fans have to hope and pray that Nick Cross is the guy for us. We have to hope that he's developed into this point where he can be the starting free safety going forward, and he'll take some lumps here and there through the season. But furthermore, we need somebody back there that's going to make plays. We need somebody that's going to make it really hard to go deep on us, right? And we need somebody that if they do want to throw deep on us, we have to make sure we have somebody that can be in position to break it up or to get the interception. Whatever the case is, we need somebody with range in the back, somebody that can make open field tackles. So hopefully Nick Cross can be that guy. I've wanted Nick Cross to get his chance. It looks like he's definitely going to get it. Okay, Nick Cross going to get the opportunity at that free safety position. The depth at safety is not great. So one of these guys gets hurt, we're not in a great spot. So that's the fear at this point. How's that safety position going to do? And listen, there's more to talk about in the secondary. I don't think this conversation is really over, and we're going to talk more about it in its separate video, either later today or tomorrow. Might be the morning video tomorrow. But we're going to talk about possibly going and getting a corner, somebody that's still a free agent. There are some free agents from the corner market, somebody that has been in the Gus Bradley system in the past, somebody that could have some familiarity and that could be good to bring in. And we'll look at the possibility of that and getting better in the secondary. If it's not going to be safety, hey, maybe we can upgrade in corner. Maybe we can bring in one of these older corners. Hey, maybe be safety. Okay, we're looking into things. We have things to talk about. So subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified when any more videos come out on this channel. We're going to be streaming during the game tomorrow. So come by, drop by, hang out with me and some other members of Colts Nation during the game. Of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.